announced, but for way more money than we first anticipated, but we don't care. And finally, we've got a massive update when it comes to Frenkie de Jong, and somebody that you all know has openly come out and stated, quote, Frenkie de Jong wants to join Chelsea. Let's get into this. Welcome to the Kavkas View, guys. Welcome to another fantastic video on the Kavkas View. And when I tell you we have got a lot of beautiful information to come out today, you are not going to regret watching this video till the very end. So story number one is going to be how we announce the Cucurella deal and how much money it's actually going to cost us. Chelsea paid a lot of it up front, and I think that's a little bit worrying. Number two, Harry Redknapp went on Alex Goldberg's podcast, The Byline, and said a few stuff about Frenkie de Jong that for me gives me a lot of confidence that this deal is genuinely on. So thirdly, we have got an update on our future chief executive. We are gonna have to go and get a sporting director, and in this case we've got 3 names on this list that we're going to break down and we're going to talk about. Then we're going to preview the Everton versus Chelsea season opener. We've all missed it. We love the transfer window. We all like to watch videos on it, but we watch football for this reason. We watch it for the beauty of what happens on the 90 minutes or the 96 minutes as people call it. Then we're going to break down the press conference. Tuchel has a lot to say. I'm going to give you my opinions and we're going to give a score prediction. You will enjoy this, and let's get on with the video. But before we get started, I really appreciate if all of you can hit the like button. If you're excited for the season to start, hit that like button and get me to 1,000 likes. In the comments below, let me know your prediction for tomorrow's game. Who do you think is going to start? What do you think the lineup's going to be? Give me your score prediction, whatever you want in the comments below. It really helps. And in the pinned comments, one final time, I'm plugging this one final time. My Instagram is there. You guys hit me up with your questions in the DMs and I respond directly to you with a voice note. Guys, this is the best way for us to build a community. It grows my Instagram, it gives us access to each other, and it actually allows us to have a nice conversation, because I know YouTube notifications act up sometimes. And finally, if you enjoy fantasy football as much as me, make sure you hit the code and sign up to the Fantasy Football League. It's a great league, it's always fun, it's always exciting, and it'll show me which one of you actually know how to play the game. But let's get on with the video. First things first, let's talk about Cucurella being announced. So Cucurella has officially been announced as a Chelsea player. This has been released by the Chelsea website. There's videos of him in Chelsea kit. There's videos of him within the dressing room. There's videos of him smiling and laughing, holding the Chelsea top up. This is fantastic news. This player is very talented, and we've all discussed where he can play in former videos. So I'm not going to give you too much detail about it, because there's no point you guys listening to rehashed views. I think he's a baller. I think he's outstanding, and I think he improves our team. What I am a little bit worried about is the 55 million that it's going to cost us, plus add-ons that make it a 62 million pound deal potential. If he comes in and bangs, no one's going to talk about it. But for me, what we need to understand is Levi Colwill went on loan with no loan, and I think that is the fee that we paid. We essentially paid Brighton to let Cucurella join us without them getting Levi on a permanent or without an obligation to buy. They get him for 1 season and 1 season only, and Chelsea retained the services of a promising player that could be worth up to 60-70 million pounds in 3 years' time. And I think all in all, this is a win-win for Chelsea, but on paper, it looks like a very damaging. Now onto the Frenkie de Jong deal, and this is very interesting. So Harry Redknapp, who is a very good manager in his own regard, has been very successful in numerous clubs, has went on to The Byline, Alex Goldberg's podcast. If you guys don't know who Alex Goldberg is, he's essentially a Chelsea fan that started off a podcast, and this podcast was picked up. This guy is a massive. He gets great guests, great speakers, great tacticians. He gets absolutely creme de la creme guests. And the content is very good. It's easy to digest. It's very honest and hard-hitting. And I like that about the content and the podcast. So now he's got Harry Redknapp on there. Like, he's living the dream. Like, he's getting top caliber people onto his podcast consistently and talking about football for a living. I love that. But let's talk about what was said, because that's what you guys are here for. Harry Redknapp basically says he knows Frenkie de Jong wants to join Chelsea. Like, people have told him that. And this is a massive news. So this begs the question, are Chelsea holding off now that the player either wants to prefer to stay at Barcelona, that's why they haven't jumped in yet, or do Chelsea not want Frenkie? Because if you know the player wants to come, if we're going to believe Harry Redknapp here, because why does Harry Redknapp have to lie? Like, what does he have to gain from lying here? A couple likes on Twitter. I don't even think he has Twitter. It just adds the question. It drops the seed. It waters the plant for it to blossom with another avenue, another branch where we have to start considering, like, What is Chelsea's deal here? Do Chelsea want him? Do Chelsea actually want to go and get him? Because one thing for certain in this transfer window, we've seen Bowley's administration doesn't hesitate. When they want, they shoot on sight. Let's talk about it. Rafinha finessed the deal, secured the deal straight away. Rafinha chose to go somewhere else. We embarrassed ourselves to that. Then it was Sterling. Sterling was secured quickly. Koulibaly secured quickly. Cucurella was secured within 4 or 5 days of us publicly being announced with. Fofana, we're aggressively putting money on the table. This deal is very easy to make if the player wants to join and Barcelona want to sell, which they do. So it's very interesting, very thought processing. And the final avenue that we need to look at, and this is the technical director of Chelsea Football Club. Look, Chelsea need to get a strategy in place because going forward, I don't think it is going to be a smart ploy to be approaching and attacking transfer windows the way we have. At this moment in time, we're just throwing our money, bro. Like, if you guys remember the song by Busta Rhymes, we're throwing Arab money. Like, they're literally walking into a club and just dashing money around. Like, we're gonna take you, we're gonna take you, take you. We don't care. Lil Wayne and T-Pain, if you got money and you know it, take it out your pocket and show it and throw it. Literally, like, they are acting up in a way where clubs know we've got money and they're taking advantage. Like, we're paying fees up front. We're not moving like the regime that we got used to under Marina. But we're gonna need to have some sort of structure. There needs to be some sort of organization. And the 3 names that are being linked with Chelsea right now are actually very interesting. So number 1 is PSG's Maxwell. Maxwell was a baller when he was a player, a good left back. And apparently he's got a very good reputation as a technical director. And he was very impressed by Chelsea when Chelsea presented the project. That's what's being reported. Number 2 is Paul Mitchell, the Monaco one. And for me with him, he's coming across as flavor of the month. We didn't hear nothing about him. And all of a sudden, now that he's at Monaco and there's a big club and it's a big organization, we're hearing a lot more. And he's become the flavor of the month. You know, everyone's like, oh yeah, Paul Mitchell, Paul Mitchell, Paul Mitchell. I don't know much about him, but I've looked over their hits and misses. They've got a lot of hits, but they also have a lot of misses. Like, not all of the players they've signed are great. Like, it's a bit risky. And finally, it's Edwards, the one from Liverpool. He's an interesting one. Chelsea have apparently presented the project. He's very interested, but he doesn't want to join now. He wants to have some time off work. He wants to relax, wants to be with the family, which is understandable. Like, he's been at Liverpool for 10 years. He built up a whole dynasty there. I think he wants to reap the rewards of just relaxing because these people are financially secure. It's not like they have to go work to make money. They're comfortable. They most probably have investments that bring them income on a regular basis where they don't even have to touch it. It's called passive investment. So it is what it is. I think it's very interesting. It's something that we need to consider. But it's for a later date and more advanced videos will come out on it in the future. But now onto the press conference that Tuchel spoke about. One thing I adore about Thomas Tuchel's press conference is this guy does not take any smoke. He just says it how it is. You know, there's not faffing about. And this was the interesting part. They said Gary Neville called it panic buying from Chelsea Football Club. He said, hold on, no panic buying here. If anything, Bowley and his assistant, they're doing their job to the best of their ability. They're in a new industry. They're trying to learn what to do, and they are going to do it to the best of their ability. I couldn't be more proud. I'm very grateful. And Tuchel said all the right things that you would say when you're speaking about your boss in public. But I think he's right. Like, Bowley's in a new industry, and I think he's actually held himself up very well. So I have to respect it. And I think Gary Neville's just salty because he knows that we've got American owners that want to invest. Manchester United have Glazers that want to take money out of the club. Key difference. Thomas also spoke about Cucurella coming into the club. He spoke about how much of an asset he's going to be. But he also spoke about Levi Colwill. And he really shed light that the kid has a lot of potential. He didn't have the opportunity to prove himself due to his injury, so his bad timing. So he needs to go and play. He needs to go and develop. And I think this is going to be a key theme under Thomas Tuchel. I think when you're a good, talented youngster, you're going to have to go on multiple loans. You're going to go Championship, finesse. After Championship, go Premier League, finesse that. And only then you're going to come back and join the team. And this is evident with the feature of, like I say, Conor Gallagher and Broja. Broja went to Vitesse, came back, Southampton, done a good job, and now he stayed. Conor Gallagher went away to West Brom, came back, went to another loan on Crystal Palace, smashed it, now he's staying. And that's how it should be. You should earn your spot within Chelsea Football Club. It shouldn't be handed. Levi's gone, and I think he's going to smash it. I'm going to be very positive about this loan. We're going to keep an eye on it. He was asked about Aubameyang, and he actually made a great joke. He was just like, yeah, I'll take the 76 goals in the team in general. I don't really need all of the love and support from Aubameyang. I just need the goals in my team. I think that's low-key a shot at the forwards. But that's just my opinion. In my opinion, Aubameyang's not needed. Tuchel brushed this off. He said he's not going to comment on it. I think it's a stupid rumor. I don't think we're interested in Aubameyang. I don't see this deal. The next message is very important from Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel actively spoke about the competition against Manchester City and Liverpool. Chelsea fans should not bring themselves down, and he believes that Chelsea should actively be pushing to keep up with Manchester City and Liverpool. But it's a transition year. They need to understand that there is a big difference here. There is an element of Chelsea having to understand where they are, but not lower their standards. So push on, and maybe we can surprise ourselves. And I think that is the best way to approach this season. When you start setting unrealistic targets like we need to win the league, look, winning the league right now means we have to be better than Manchester City and Liverpool. And these two teams have been near perfect for 3-4 years now. So we need to be realistic, and we need to just make sure we crack 80 points before we start talking about winning leagues. We haven't done that in 5 seasons. But that's my view, and that's Tuchel's view. So I hope you lot agree. And the penultimate thing he spoke about was Raheem Sterling and Koulibaly. He spoke about their additions to the team. He explained how much of an asset they're going to be for this team. He spoke about how Raheem Sterling was interested from the outset, and the team did everything in their capability to go get him. In regards to Koulibaly, he added insight about how Koulibaly was a player that was on their target list for a while. They spoke to Jorginho, they spoke to Mendy, and they decided that those players' opinions, on top of the ability they've seen in him, on top of the demand and interest from Koulibaly to come to Chelsea, was the right thing to do. And this, all in all, is fantastic. Like, this is a great way of signing players, in my opinion. It feels like they've done their background check and they secured the deal perfectly. One final bit of news, and it's about Ben Chilwell. And he also said Ben is very important, and he really stepped out of his way, in my opinion, to make Ben feel very important here. I think with Cucurella coming in, it could be very difficult for Ben Chilwell, because Ben Chilwell is going to be worried that his place is in jeopardy. And Ben already isn't in the England squad, right? Like, Southgate loves to play Trippier at left back or Luke Shaw. Ben Chilwell's always on the periphery, and if Ben Chilwell gets dropped, it makes it even harder for him to get back into the squad. So we need to be realistic with how we manage Ben Chilwell. He won't be playing this weekend because he needs to, the intensity's still not there after his injuries. One thing about playing short games, Tuchel said, and 5-a-side games, it's another thing to actually go and play proper Premier League games. So that was the thing. I think we're going to beat Everton. I really do. I think it's going to be a convincing victory. I think it's first day of the season, 2-3-0, maybe 3-1. I hope it's 3-0. Got 2 Chelsea fantasy players in my team. Other than that, guys, this was the Kavkas View. I hope you lot enjoyed it. Peace out. I'm out.